These Auburn freshmen keep talking smack, and I love it.
Oh, no, baby. What is you doing?
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Joining us as he does every single Tuesday, it is Charlie 5, also known as Kyle Rush, the Auburn message board legend himself, over at the barn, auburn.com. Recruiting could get crazy. We've got some updates for you, but it's Iron Bowl week, Kyle. It's Iron Bowl week, and our freshmen, they're talking smack. They're talking a ridiculous amount of smack. And it started with Demarcus Riddick saying, that like Ryan Williams isn't really anybody to him. And he also said that he doesn't plan on losing to Alabama during his time here. Cam Coleman talks about going into their crib and taking over and having fun. Perry Thompson, minutes before we sat down to record this, just tweets a screenshot comparing Jalen Milroe, the Alabama quarterback stats, to Peyton Thorne's stats. I love it, and not because it's funny, because it is objectively funny. For the first time that I can remember, we have a group of guys that are giving off the aura that they're not afraid of Alabama. They are ready to go to Tuscaloosa and go toe-to-toe with them and take back what they feel like is theirs. And I think that's been lacking. Saying, oh, man, it'd be great if we could beat Alabama. They think, no, we can beat them. We can beat them, or we're expecting to, or they wouldn't be saying all of this stuff.
It's true, man. When I first saw the first quote that came out, I thought a couple of things. Number one, the meme. Oh, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is going on? And then I'm thinking, if I'm Kay and Lee or Jay Crawford, I'm like, come on, Demarcus. Now, I'm the one that's got to run with this dude. Or Caleb Harris. Hey, I'm the one that's got to bracket this guy. But they all seem super confident, and it kind of goes along with the all the stories that we've heard that the freshmen are dogs. The freshmen don't like losing. The freshmen want to win, and you see more and more freshmen make more and more big time plays. I love it. I like the fact that they're confident. I mean, now you got to back it up. Like, you've put it out there now. You've created the bulletin board material. So now you got to go put your money where your mouth is.
No question. And I'm a little surprised by it all. But the fact that they're all doing it, because when it was just Demarcus, it's like, okay, Demarcus went rogue.
Yeah.
But more folks are doing it. It's almost like their freshman chat, like they've all got a group text, it seems like. And I just kind of wonder.
Orchestrated. It almost seems orchestrated. Like, this is a plan. Like, let's go ahead and get in their head now. I guess. I don't know. It kind of came out of nowhere. This is, Hugh and them, and they're like, man, we shouldn't have let them speak to the media. We shouldn't have let them.
Is this why other people don't let freshmen talk to the media? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. They don't play like freshmen, but every now and then it's like, oh, is that what? What's the downside? Because if Alabama beats you, they're going to rag you anyway.
Either way, yeah.
But if Auburn pulls this off, we're going to have shirts with these quotes on them, and we're going to all collectively wear them for the next 10 years.
Oh,
so
totally.
To me, like, if Demarcus Riddick has a game where he shuts down Milroe, and he's got a quote saying he's fast, but he's not faster than me, you telling me that's not going to be on everything?
He's not faster than me. That could be his tagline forever. And I think I might agree with it. I don't think he's faster than him. So he's definitely going to play a big role.
We're going to find out.
He's definitely going to play a big role for sure.
We're going to find out. Yeah, I love it, because I think that's been a mentality thing across all of it. The whole, they love to say little brother and all that stuff. It's like, well, let's see. I just think this is the group that that can do it.
And this is the group that changes things. This is the group that can change narratives, I think. And we
talk all season about culture and stuff. This is the stuff that's different. I like it.
Do you think some of the older guys are like, oh, come on now, pump the brakes just a little bit, or you think it's just everybody's all in?
I'm sure some of them are. Sure. I'm sure some of them are. I mean, right now, up to this point, and it's going to be a long week, but Yeah, sure. They've got time though. They've got time, but I'm sure some of them aren't. I'm sure some of them love it. I'm sure some of them might chime in at certain points throughout the week. Sure.
Is there any part of it where you're like, Alabama was reeling a little bit, and could this possibly have played against you? Like, gave them a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra motivation, or do you not even care and you're just like, let's just do it and see what happens?
I think when you have the mindset of these freshmen, I don't think you care.
They don't care.
I mean, how often has Alabama felt like the hunted and not the hunter? I think a lot of these guys are in a situation now where they've never been. And even these guys that transferred to Bama or played for championships at Bama, like, they've got 3 losses going into the last week of the season. This is new territory for everybody in that program. And so when you've got a team that appears to be a little hotter than you right now, based off of, the last 2 weeks, what does that feel like? To me,
and just overall looks.
Yeah, 100%. We are way more handsome across the board than they are. But to me, I think doing stuff like this creates more pressure.
It kind of does
for Bama. And it plays into the fact like, we got nothing to lose. And so we got Perry Thompson tweeting out screenshots of Milroe and Thorne's stats, which somehow Thorne's passing stats are better. And I just think that's incredible.
They got to be thinking, I can't let this become a catchphrase on a t-shirt. Like, we can't. I've got to now put more pressure on myself, play outside of who I am, which is probably good enough to beat them anyway. But now that's all in my head. I'm thinking, I got to find this guy on the field. I got to make an example out of him, or I got to do this, I got to do that. And it gets you out of your game a little bit. I mean, I can see both sides. I think Auburn fans are just like, they don't want to be embarrassed. It's like everything we do. I saw people talking about even before the game, oh, I hope we don't rush the field. That'd be so embarrassing. Or I hope we don't do this. That would be so embarrassing. It's always about, we're just worried about being embarrassed. And it's like, finally, these guys aren't worried about being embarrassed. They're wanting to go out and take these dudes' souls. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing.
Yeah. Well, what's the phrase? Like, losers worry about winners and winners worry about winning. To me, like, who cares? Who cares what other people think? Go out and do your job. And if you do it as a team and the plan is right, you're going to win. And 100%. To me, I love it. And you think about like the Bama perspective of this. I mean, Milroe's a veteran, so like, I don't know if it's going to have that much of an impact, but just follow me here. If early in the game, if Riddick's in and he stuffs Milroe for a 1-yard gain on the outside, like, you don't think he's going to whisper something in his ear? You don't think that's going to be something that's, I don't know. I think that stuff matters, man, mentally, especially like when Milroe, like, he can't be confident right now. He looks somewhat hurt to me, if I'm being 100% honest with you, but just to go on the road to Oklahoma and, score this few points as you did a week ago. I love that Auburn smells blood. I just love that they smell blood and they're actually like, doing something about it. I think it's pretty cool.
That's the first game they haven't scored a touchdown in since like 2011. I think that's correct. The last game they did not score a touchdown on offense was 2011. And now you got to go play the Iron Bowl and you got these freshman dogs chirping at you. Like, what is reality? What is happening right now?
Yeah, there's another element to this that I want to get your thoughts on.
All right.
That I think may lend something specifically about the Ryan Williams stuff. It seemed a little deeper than football. That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the best place to buy tickets. Doesn't matter what it's for. If you need tickets for it, Game Time has you covered. If you're thinking about it, man, if you hearing, Demarcus Riddick's comments or Cam Coleman or Perry Thompson's screenshot, whatever it might be, it's like, you know what? I do want to go to the Iron Bowl.
I'm in.
I'm going to go to Bryant-Denny. You can save $20 right now by using code LOCKEDONCollege when you download the Game Time app. I mean, can you imagine buying tickets anywhere else, Kyle?
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Nope. Makes me mad thinking about it. I don't even know if there are other options. No clue. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time. Let's go. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall is the best place to buy Auburn swag. Can you imagine buying Auburn swag anywhere else?
This is me shaking my head no.
Yeah, give me one or two words of the emotions you feel when you walk into one of the three great physical locations of Alumni Hall in Auburn, Opelika, or Huntsville. Just real quick.
Excitement, elation, satisfaction.
Wow.
And bug.
Wow. Straight bug.
Yeah.
It's the bug capital of the world, baby.
It is.
And hey, if you want to also order online, which makes sense too, head over to alumnihall.com. Apparently we have a promo code. Locked On is what I've been told. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that was part of the partnership. But that's what people have said lately.
Bonus.
So,
hey, how about bonus? I love bonuses. Surprises.
The bug just doesn't stop. Yeah, you beat Texas A&M and everything just starts to turn around everywhere. It's insane.
Everybody starts giving free stuff away.
I guess so. alumnihall.com. That's how excited they are. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. For your second listen, be sure to check out the reaction show that we did for the Auburn basketball game last night. Dap and I went live after Auburn in Iowa State, and it was a late one. Demarcus Riddick's comments about Ryan Williams, because that's really kind of what started it. I mean, he doesn't seem impressed with Ryan Williams, which there's no way he doesn't think Ryan Williams is dynamic, right? And he said that he's electric. Like he praised him, and then he said like he's not really anybody to me, which logically doesn't make sense. do you think? I mean, this freshman class probably thought for a while that he was going to be a part of this with them.
I think it's personal.
You think it is personal? That's going to be my question. Yep.
I didn't think about it at first, but once I kind of digested it, it's totally personal. Like why kind of single out Ryan Williams? You're a linebacker. Like there's really no chance. There's not many chances unless it's like a jet sweep or something that you'll really even come into contact with him in the game. Like you don't like
a drag or a crossing route or something like that. Sure. Yeah.
So what fueled that? And I think you're dead on. I think it was personal. I think that a lot of these guys, I think Ryan Williams basically, I think he was essentially a part of this class regardless, especially when he decommitted from Alabama for that period of time. I think that everybody kind of thought he was going to be part of this class. And then, Saban retired and they got a little bit desperate, needed some wins. And then he kind of turned his back on them and they're like, okay, all right. Let us figure out this football thing over here at Auburn, and it's going to be on, and you're going to feel it. And that was the way I felt when I heard Demarcus say what he said. Totally personal.
Yeah, I think so too. We didn't read Cam's quote. Really a revenge tour. We're going into their place and we're really just going into their crib and just take over and have fun while we're doing it. This is going to be some of the last memories we make with each other. So let's go make it a memorable game. I love this freshman class. So some people are reading into that as like, is he leaving? Like, no, I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think that's what he's saying.
No, I mean, hey, Keandre Lambert-Smith, that's his brother, man. They're a 1-2 punch.
They're really close. Yeah.
Yeah. They're a 1-2 punch and they're elite. They're an elite pair, and this is their last chance. Well, unless they win, then they get to go again. But this could be their last chance to go out there together. So why not go out there and do all you can? They kind of has a I don't know, like a 2014 Iron Bowl kind of vibe where I felt like we were reeling, and then all of us we just went out there and didn't even care. We were throwing the ball all over the place, threw for like 400 yards. You had Duke and Sammy. You had a deep threat. You had a 50-50 guy that could catch it on anybody. We just didn't care.
You had Rock Thomas fumbling it on the first play of scrimmage.
That was awesome. But that you kind of got that vibe where you just don't care, and you're going to go into Tuscaloosa and you're just going to rip it up and down the field and have fun. So I like it. I love the confidence.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd much rather them be saying stuff like this than seemingly feel like you could almost sense fear or sense not necessarily maybe not even fear or lack of confidence.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's where we're always at with this is
we're just trying to
it'd be great if we could pull this off. Let's get to the fourth quarter and see what happens.
Yeah.
And
that's not what they want to do.
I think that's exactly like what the 4th and 31 situation came down to last year was like, wow, let's just see if we can take advantage of this last one. Maybe they'll mess up. Then it's like, no, you got to play every single second. You got to play every single second. And if we've been on good side of that and the bad side of that, unfortunately now. So
I'll say this
mentality is exactly what we need. It's exactly what we needed.
You sort of put extra emphasis for yourself too. Like, hey, all right, I've put myself out there. So like, I got to actually go perform now. So that's another thing. And you got to have the confidence to be able to do that, to know that you actually can go back up your words. So just so much about it that's just so unnatural that I don't even know what to do with myself.
What do you think the coaches truly think about it?
I think
because there's no way they talk to them about it beforehand, right? There's no way they're
mortified. I think they're probably mortified if I guarantee
Freeze is probably looking up. He's like, Riddick said what now?
Yeah.
Cam said what now? Perry, why are you tweeting that? What? Like,
oh dear, we need to have a meeting. We got to have a meeting right now. It's still Alabama at the end of the day. They still have the 247 Sports most talented roster in college football, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yep. But they've lost 3 games.
That they have.
But they hired the greatest coach ever, apparently. So figure that out.
Go figure that. Figure that one out. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
I mean, this Iron Bowl week has already been a blast. It's already been so fun.
It's so much.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, like it would not even be like 10% fun. It would be awful. Every show this week would be, you dread it if you didn't pull that win off this past weekend.
Well, wouldn't the mood be what we talked about? It has been like, maybe we got a shot if we do these 10 things.
Yeah, if we don't make the big mistake, if we don't do this, if we just don't turn the ball over, if we don't do this, if we can make the kick, we might have a chance. But now it's like, no, these guys feel like they can match up, and they're chirping. I love it.
I love it too, man. I love it too. And just like to think about, I mean, the irony in this, Daryl and I talked about this on Sunday's show, but the irony of this is if they pull this off, they're known as the team that finished strong. And ironically, like they couldn't finish any game except for these last 2. if they went on Saturday,
they finished strong, and several of the losses were because they could not finish strong.
Yeah, I guess finishing strong in the macro and the inability to finish strong in the micro. It'd be kind of funny. But we'll see. I hope that's the narrative for sure. Auburn recruiting, man, is setting up for a big finish. Talk about finishing strong. Oh my goodness. Offered, Autry, what to expect. That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel's America's #1 sports book. And the line's still 11.5 as we record this. For Auburn, Auburn's an 11.5-point dog in the Iron Bowl. I think it should be single digits, Kyle. I think it should be a single-digit line. I'm taking Auburn plus the points right now.
I like it. I mean, as long as it stays, I was thinking somewhere around a touchdown. So 11 points, give me those all day.
I'm with you. Hey, right now, new customers at FanDuel, you can bet $5. You get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You can get started with $150 in bonus bets. If you nail that first $5 bet, that's over at FanDuel.com. So, Naeem offered, gets RPM by Wiltfong, a Fong bomb, to flip from Ohio State to Auburn. And I'll tell you what, I talked to somebody within the program over the weekend after that game, and I hinted at this over during the live on Sunday, but that win went a long way with a few guys, and one of them is offered. And then you see Wilt Fong drop this Fong bomb. I think it lines up. I think Auburn has a legitimate shot to flip this kid.
I think it was close. It's been close for a while. And I think it's been that just show me. Just give me a reason. Just give me a reason to flip it. And I think Auburn gave him the reason this weekend. I think he'll be in the class. The story, we're going to have to remember. Back in the summer, Hugh Freeze at a practice, Naeem offered is is visiting for the practice. And Hugh says, "Hey, reporters, let me tell you, you want a headline for a story? Hugh Freeze isn't missing on this kid right here. This kid's going to be an Auburn Tiger." This is when, I don't know if he was committed already, or I think he was committed to Ohio State at the time.
I think so too.
And he has not given up. He's relentless when he recruits. And I think he's the best recruiting head coach in college football. They're hands down. There's nobody to me.
What's the argument against it?
There's no one.
They have 5 wins and the number 3 class in the country,
and are knocking on the door of number 1. Really knocking on the door, like legitimately knocking on the door of number 1. It's crazy. And you're seeing guys, like you said, Malik Autry, which he's visited a lot of places. I think there was times where he was close to maybe flipping and going to maybe like an Ohio State. Ohio State wanted him really badly, and he tweets out that he's shutting his recruitment down. These guys it's like they've just been waiting to see that moment, that one moment where it feels like, okay, I can see it now. You're close. You've been close, but you haven't been able to get it done. Will you ever get it done? I just need to see it, man. I just need to see one thing. And it felt like this weekend really triggered it, solidified a bunch of guys. Traverse Dice was another one that was on the fence, I feel like, possibly going to Florida. I think he's locked in now. What happens with Jared Smith? I think that one's still going to be a battle down to the end. Deuce Knight was another one where he led the dang field rushing. He was the first one on the field. He just about made the play on defense. He almost broke that pass up on defense. He was out there so fast. It was crazy. And
let me ask you a series of yes or no questions. So all of these are, do they end up in Auburn's class? Yes or no?
Okay.
Deuce Knight.
Yes.
Jared Smith.
I'm going to say yes, but I'm worried.
Okay, but not a lock by any means.
No.
There a percentage you put on it? You feel comfortable putting percentage on there?
I'd say 55%.
Okay, so barely.
Barely, yeah.
Barely. Okay. Naeem Offord.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
Oh yeah, he's locked in. He's in the class. I'm already counting him as a commit.
Usman Chroma.
Yes.
Ooh. Justice Terry.
That's the one. Justice Terry is the quote unquote swing state between Georgia and Auburn. Over wherever he goes, that team becomes the number 1 class in the country. I think it's going to come down to Justice Terry. I really do. And I think Auburn's probably
Ohio State falls that much.
Yeah, they fall pretty big, but Auburn's already ahead of. Auburn's already not already ahead, but they're close. But that would put them, if you do the numbers, if you add those 2 guys to the class, Ohio State drops, and they get to where they're right ahead of, they're tied in points on 247 with Georgia, and then Justice Terry is the deciding factor. If you do the math.
Yeah.
Then you still got guys like Darian.
We do
Smith.
the what? If we do the what?
The math.
What you do the mouth? Is that what you said?
Do the mouth. If I may have said it. I got excited.
You do the mouth. It's Well, yeah.
It works out. Always do it. But yeah, it's Justice Terry is the one that is the deciding factor. It's
so
a lot.
So I agree with you on Offord. I agree with you on Chroma. I have a hard time seeing the Terry thing come to fruition, but
you're going to give it your best, and it's probably only a 20%.
So you're guessing no on that.
Yeah, I would not
go back to
I would
the
not
exercise.
add,
Okay.
No, I think Georgia's going to be too big to overcome there. But
I also think
Auburn's going to battle.
I think Georgia's kind of set up to go on a run too. Like I like their footing to win the SEC. And I like their footing to make a run for the Natty again.
Yeah, but it's at this point in time, it's the law of diminishing returns when it comes to recruiting. Like how much better, how much more can you win to prove it to recruits? You know what I'm saying? Whereas Auburn, sort of everything that they do now is just like so exponentially.
I guess, but like my pushback to that is Kirby's trying to build at Georgia what Nick did at Bama.
Yeah, and keep it going. Just
it clearly compounded on itself, you know?
Sure.
So I think it does matter. Does
yeah.
it matter as much as the first two? Probably not, but I do think it matters. Or at least putting yourself in a situation to compete for it every year. Because how many? I'm sure Kirby has this ready to go when he's talking to commits, or recruits. But like how many times do you make the Final Four, or anything like that? Like they're in a good spot. They should have gone last year. They didn't. So, but all in all, like the fact that all of the talk about, man, if Auburn could just keep this class together, I'm so glad that's like died down.
Yeah.
Because you and I have been on here saying like, well, like who specifically are you worried about losing? It's like, oh, well, Deuce. Like, okay, well, because he stormed the field against Ole Miss. Well, okay, stormed the field here. So like, can we make that go away now?
Everybody that's almost been, they're for sure going to flip. Then they don't, not only do they not flip, but they end up like solidifying their recruitment, like Donovan Starr and Eric Winter and all these dudes that could go anywhere in
Bagans
the
goes
country.
other places.
Bagans.
And he's like, yeah, I just kind of confirmed that I'm in with Auburn. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sweet. It seems too good to be true sometimes. I don't know.
It does. It's like, it makes me like, how are you even doing this is what's crazy. That's what's crazy to me. How are you even able to do this?
Yeah.
That's why I don't even care what anybody says when they talk about recruiting. He's the best recruiting head coach I've ever seen. Maybe ever. I don't know.
With on-field production versus like what he's bringing in.
Pound for pound. That's the term. Pound for pound.
Yeah. It's just, there's just no way we don't get better. There's just no way we don't get better in the future. So
I'm with you.
Kyle, what else going on in your world?
Absolutely. Look, $1. Okay. You got signing day. Well, this is what $1 gets you. Gets you through signing day. Okay.
Yep.
All the information, all the updates, recruiting updates. We're going to be ahead of the game there. It's going to get you through the portal almost. Very close to getting you through the portal. So you're going to have all the inside information on all the guys that are entering, what kind of shots we have with those guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the best investment you can possibly have at the perfect time. You can get your most bang for your literal buck by checking out thebarnauburn.com. $1 for the first month, and have a ton of fun. Got Lindsey Crosby dropping baseball notes in there too. It's not just
the one yesterday morning that Lindsey dropped was pretty strong.
Oh, totally.
Pretty strong. Nobody else has that for sure.
Fall hitting stats. Nobody has it. So definitely check us out there. And then you can listen to my podcast, the Top Button Podcast, everywhere you get a podcast every single day.
Yes.
And then subscribe to the Barn YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
A lot of different types of content there.
Yeah. And I've got a show on the Barn YouTube channel as well with Brad Law. Drops 3 or 4 times a week. So be sure to check that out as well. Thebarnauburn.com. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.